YouTubers, Brian Proctor back again with another video, and this would be number 5 in the series of whatever I call these things, action positions of the week. And I've decided to put these things up when I finish them. Why should I wait for a whole week, or why should you have to wait for a whole week before you get another drawing lesson? Because true artists want to draw. So I'm going to start putting these things up more frequently, and this is the 5th one, and this is the end result. And what I have here, I wanted to do this. This is a nice little stand because of the perspective. A lot of new drawers don't really understand the perspective when drawing, and they draw basically just straightforward. So I've got a lot of perspective talking about that, and the feet and the hands also. So those are your bonus things in drawing. And just because I've got this one out here, this would have been number 6, but I filmed it with a different camera because the main camera I have died, and the other one gives better quality, but the focus was just crazy. So I've decided to just redraw this over again. So you won't see this one, but you see another one. But take a screenshot of that and you can draw that on your own. But for now, this is the end product that I have. A nice little pose here. And you notice I have swords, or you can switch up with guns. So with that in mind, let's get going, and I'll show you guys how to do this in perspective. All right. Oh, one last thing. Since I'm going to start putting these things up more frequently, click the little bell icon so that you have the notifications of me putting these things up. And also, please subscribe. I said I was going to say that start at the beginning of my videos, so I'm now saying it. Please subscribe and click that notification button, which is that funny looking bell. Okay, let's get going. Okay, let's get this one started. This is a fairly simple cut and dry one, but I wanted to do this to show you about the perspective of drawing a side position, as I've seen a lot of people draw their positions, but they didn't use a perspective angle for it. So if you do it this way, it'll be easily, and hopefully I will be able to get it right and not embarrass myself. So as I say, always get the image in your head of what you want, then do the rough of what you're going to have so it doesn't fall off the paper. Now, basically, this is just going to be a guy. He's going to be standing, and he's going to be holding some swords or staff or a gun or whatever. But I just, in my head, I see some swords, probably because of my Samurai Clown book. Now, from this, the perspective part is, if you're drawing somebody like that from the side, you always want to do this thing here. And I'll bring his feet down just a little bit more, like that. So basically what I'm doing is, I'm gonna turn it long ways. I'm doing my perspective line. That's my eye line, or not vanishing point. This is my vanishing point, like this and like that. So I'm gonna put that guy in between here. And of course, you have lines that just continue to radiate out from your vanishing point, and this is your eye line, or what is the other word for this thing? Horizon line. So staying with these lines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the top of my shoulders, and I'm just using this for a quick reference, and these are the bottom of my feet, and this is my legs here. So staying on this line, you're going to have one shorter leg, one longer leg. If my arms were down, you're going to have one longer arm and one shorter arm, but they're still on the same line. And then you put your head there, and then that makes that person, that puts that person in perspective. And you can do the same thing with the feet as well. And that keeps that person in perspective, because you have, like, say, your chest line is going to fall, your chest, put the chest up here. Chest is going to fall on this line. Your belt is going to fall on this line. Your knees are going to fall on that line, and they're falling on the same line. That way it stays balanced. So that's what I want to show you with this one, and that's why I'm doing this fairly straightforward and simple drawing. Okay, so I want to kind of give him more of a, am I out of blue? Give him more like kind of that manga kind of twist to it, because I always wanted to learn how to do that, but it was just hard for me. So I'm gonna try it now. I'm gonna drop his size a little bit because I think his legs might go off the paper. And let's just draw the way I draw. So this is the waist. And we're gonna go down and curve out. So go down, curve out. And the legs are gonna come like that. They usually do this little twist in their legs. Keeping it in mind, a perspective, I have to know where I'm gonna go. Where I'm gonna stop. So let's do the first foot. Let's just say the leg will stop right about here. So let's do that. So the leg's gonna stop right about there for this one. And of course you have your shoulders, so your lower shoulder is gonna go here. It's gonna go up a little bit more because he's gonna raise his arm up. And that actually could be, the whole thing could be dropped a little. Not so hard of an angle. Delts, what is wrong with this pencil? Arm. So the other one. And doing something like this, like if you have something raised over his shoulder or her shoulder, it's best to put the hand in. Let me put the face in. I'm gonna lean the face down because he's like, yeah, what's up? Lean the head, cock the head a little bit. So it's gonna be like that. He's like, yeah, boy. So let's say this whatever's gonna rest on his shoulder. So it's best to put the hand first where you want it, and then just connect the arms from wherever the hand is going to be at. So let's say this is his shoulder, this is the arm. And sometimes the arm won't go straight down and up. It'll kind of go out and up like that instead of straight down and back up like that. So it'll go out and you see that curve or that circle from the cylinder shape to back up. And this one would be in front, I believe, or maybe not, but hopefully you get the gist. So we got the hand in position, we got the shoulder here. So let's see how much is going to go out or down, because you can only make it so long or it's going to throw itself off. Even this part, you can only make it so long or it's not going to look right. So I might have to bring it in just a little bit more. The length of this is about right here. So I might have to bring this down. And I am having all kinds of trouble with this blue pencil today. Like that. And then that. And let's just say the feet. And I said it's on another video. I'll usually do like this to determine where my foot is in the ankle. And inner is higher than lower. So because of that, I'll tend to do this. And this is the ankle. You have your legs come down. You have your ankle here, and you have another one there. So it gives you a kind of a, take the pen out your mouth. It gives you kind of that downward angle. So I'll just kind of use that, and I'll make this U, upside down U, to put the foot in there between the ankles. The ankle's not really that big, but you get the gist, hopefully. Almost inked it. And then this foot will go like this. And I said in another video, if you're having trouble doing feet, do a square or a wedge like that. And then you can come out, you can come back later and just kind of like round it out. Put this part for the heel, just lift that up and round it out. It's not a big thing. Okay, let's see what I got. Too much booty on the man here. Can bring his back in more. Bring that up more to give that like leaning kind of shape. And if they had a manga class or how to draw like manga or anime to do anime, I would take that class, because some of these guys are like really good. But if you draw every day, every position imaginable, you'd be good too. So I'm not miserable with the way I draw. But I would just love to be able to just draw anything, any way, for any reason. All right, almost lost what I was doing. Okay, let's do this. I'm not gonna make this guy so much muscular. Remember when I say you always make that V and your arms split like this. Maybe that might be a little too high. It is. Correct it in Photoshop. I think I'm running out of lead, or it just doesn't want to work. Shoulder comes into there. Collarbone comes down from here. Neck comes here. Where's his face? Might have to turn that head a little bit more or drop it down some. Let me do this. Because it's turned, you will see this piece of chest come past this delt. Piece of chest. Curves up. The delt comes to the collarbone. This is where your ribs are going to go, through the nipple, from this point here, through the nipple and down. Usually it's like that. It's like a V. And then you get your ribs. I think it's 4 or 5 that actually show, but I'm not really counting. And then from there, it's kind of shaped like, use a pencil. Okay, you have your chest, the other part of your chest, your what is it, the collarbone, and say your nipples. It comes down here and straight through. You have your lats, your whatever that is, and then from that point it kind of comes up, and there are 1, 2, 3, I think it's 4, but they're shaped like this, like little claws. And then from there you have your other ribs that come off of that curve right here. So you have this points like that. And they curve in because your lats start right here, so that's an extra piece of big meaty muscle. And then where these are curved, where these little claws, it's like the claws are actually cutting, pulling. You have your other ribs that come down, and then that kind of connects, and then that goes into your whatever these are. It's one of them days. Your abs. So yeah, for those who want to learn how to draw ribs, that kind of hopefully that kind of straightens it out. But a lot of times it's covered up by your arm, so you don't always see it. Yeah. So yeah, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Yeah, I'm that old. All right, back to what I'm doing. For some reason, I'm trying to want to dress this guy. Okay, that's a point. It comes out, and down like that. Your ribs. And I'll suck this in. Sometimes I'll pull that first line instead of bringing it down, pull it in, and then curve out. That gives it more of a muscular, when you curve it in, muscular shape to it. And your God, what is that again? Maybe I just need to have lunch or something. It's still early. Your love handles right here. It sucks in here and then it comes out. So sometimes you'll see just your abs. What am I using? The red? Let me use the pencil. Sometimes you're just, depending on the angle, you'll just see your abs here and it goes here and it comes down. And at the bottom, you start to see just a little bit of your love handle. So you won't see it all the time. I guess this is going to be a long video because I'm doing a lot of examples. So it's an extreme angle. So these are your abs here. Sometimes you'll have just at the bottom, you have that piece of that love handle that comes out, like that, and then your legs, but you don't always get the ribs, or the abs showing, or that side showing. You just get it to come out like that, and that's not too often, but yeah, sometimes at certain angles. But if you turn a little bit, then yes, you will get that extra side to come out like that. But this one, I think you're going to see the side, because I'm going to bring it out some more. And this is, for a simple picture, this is getting so messy. And as I say, you have your love handles here, which goes there. You have your legs that actually come up, your buttocks. This piece curves around, comes out, and I'm trying to stay with the anime thing. Knee, come here and here. On that line, remember that line is going to come back to that point, which is about right here, off camera. So you have that knee, let's just say the top of the knee. Goes in, curves around, and see, that's trying to get the the Western style with the, what is it, Eastern style. Doesn't work always, especially with my style, because I'm removing some of those curves. In knees, a triangle, remember, and that way you'll know exactly where your center line is, and it helps sometimes. Like that. Work on this thing. So he's going to be skinny. Up, down, over and around. Bicep. step. And the palm. If you're putting something in the hand, and I'll show you that hand. I was going to say that, but I got lost. Whatever you put in your hand, it's going to fit on top of that palm. So you have these two circles. For example, let me use this eyeglass case. Here's my hand. Here's the case. It's going to sit on that palm. So you're going to draw these two circles. And I saw a guy do this in an exercise video, messing his hand up. Just for you guys, you're going to draw these two circles here and then set whatever you have down on top of those circles. So that makes it a little easier. So if I give him a sword or a pole or whatever, let's just say it's a sword. Let me clear some of this junk out the way. Because when I start drawing, you should see the rest of my table just tore up like that. Then you have your thumb that comes up and holding your whatever. You have your two pieces of your thumb and then your finger. Actually, it's going to come out because whatever you have is not flat, it's round. So your hand is going to come around to hold it. It's not flat. So let me do this with red. Maybe that'll be a little better. Let me sharpen this. I'll add some seconds to the video, but I know you guys love me and you'll stay with me for a few seconds. So we're going to come up and down. So it's going to, same thing with the other one. Up here at the knuckle, across and down, same thing with the rest of them. Cross and down, cross and down, but you won't see a lot of this top part on the other two fingers. And then you have your palm. And that depends on how fat the thing is. Like this case, my fingers are going to be higher over it, and you won't see this part. You'll just see this and this, versus something like this pencil. It's going to be more, you'll see more of this, and this will come all the way down. I'll fix it in Photoshop. There is no Photoshop. Like so. And then there's, like I say, there's your palm, and there's this whatever he's holding, sword, whatever. And this muscle, how does this thing, it's like this. I'm not sure right now. As I said, it's early. Let me look at this thing, and maybe I'll just pause this video and then check out my mistakes, and then come back and finish it up in detail. As I said, this guy's, he's not gonna be like a big bruiser. And then I'm gonna make the waist straight. I'm not gonna give him any love handles. It's gonna come straight down because he's slim. But it does come this way just for drawing purposes. And I'll bring this out a little bit more, drop curves in here, comes around, and he's slim. I'll move this back. Like that. There's chest. Like so. Man, this paper is messy. It's just got crazy. So this one, this hand here, anything that you hold and point it at somebody, you're going to have to turn that wrist. So if I'm holding this like this, and let's just say this is the front, this is the blade or whatever, this is the front end. And if I point it at you, I'm going to have to turn that wrist, and this is going to have to come down at an angle. It's not straight around. It's going to have to come up and bend. So this, let's just say, is the other sword. It's going to have to bend like that so he can accommodate that sword. So the thumb is going to go around here. The fingers are going to go, the palm, it's a hand lesson. The palm is like halfway, or the knuckles are like halfway between your whole piece. So you're going to see your knuckles, and you're going to see just the first joints of your fingers to wrap around whatever it is. So you have your knuckles here. Then you have your first hand, your first pieces of your finger, and it's going to go back at an angle like that. Like so. And then it's going to, this finger would wrap around it like that if this was an invisible sword or something. So you have that first finger, and it's going to come around to this piece here. And then you have your thumb, that curve, and your thumb holds it however your thumb is holding it. And that's a good thing about having something being held. You can cover up a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I'll drop this head down some. And bring this neck to curve out like that. And then I think you got it. So I'm going to pause this thing and look at what mistakes I have made, and then try to correct that before I ink it. And your legs, of course, you have that. The two muscles that come up here, split. Same thing for this. Muscles that come up here. You have your calf, but this guy's kind of skinny. Your shin bone comes out of your knee, comes down, so your knee is right here. Your shin bone comes down here. That's that point that you hit that hurts like hell. And then your feet. And like that, and let's curve this around. Yeah, let's clean up the mess, and then I'll ink this, and I'll come right back. I'll come right back. Okay, there is the finished product, and as you can see, I ended up putting some guns in his hands, just in case you didn't want the swords. Guns will work just as well, or as I said, staff would work. So there's your finished product, and if the quality has changed for the better or the worse, that's because my camera died and I'm using my other camera. So I didn't want to let it give a chance to recharge, because I'm on a roll. So yeah, if its quality's changed, I apologize, for better or worse. But that's the finished product, which will now go to the beginning product. So there you go, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that you are enjoying. Subscribe, tell some people to subscribe too. Go over there and tell them to open up their computer and then hit their subscribe button, even if they don't know you're doing it. All right, so I guess I'll see you guys.